On January 29th, 2026, News Channel Nebraska posted the following on social media. Breaking: a protester at Fremont High School is injured after being hit by a vehicle displaying a Trump flag. That single post became the spark for a coordinated wave of inaccurate reporting across Omaha's major TV stations and the rest of Nebraska's local media. All three major Omaha outlets, CAM-TV Channel 3, WOWT Channel 6, and KETV Channel 7, made the Fremont incident their lead story throughout the day, and for several days afterward. They repeated the same false framing. The juvenile driver of the red SUV was the aggressor who deliberately hit a peaceful protester. This was the exact narrative pushed by Nebraska politicians in their coordinated social media posts, and the local fake news anchors and reporters echoed it almost word for word. Featured anchors across the stations delivered the same story with the same slant. Mary Nelson on CAM-TV Channel 3 led with the incident as the top story. Brian Mostre and Aaron Sullivan on WOWT Channel 6 ran multiple segments, repeating the claim that the driver struck the protester. Bill Shammert, Julie Cornell, Waverly Monroe, and Melissa Fry on KETV Channel 7 kept the story front and center, framing it as the driver hitting a student at a protest. Even Fox 42, KPTM, which had discontinued its in-house local newscasts in May 2023 and now relies on Sinclair's The National Desk, still carried reports that aligned with the same inaccurate narrative. Every station had reporters on the ground or reviewing the same video evidence, yet they all chose to report the same falsehoods. The video evidence was unmistakable from the start. Multiple angles showed the female student protester running directly into the path of the moving red SUV, making the collision unavoidable. The vehicle was surrounded by an angry mob yelling threats, hitting the car, and stealing the Trump flag. Police citations later confirmed the driver faced no charges for hitting or assaulting anyone, only for leaving the scene justified by the mob threat, and a pedestrian violation for the student. Yet the local news coverage ignored these facts. Instead, anchors and reporters across Omaha stations portrayed the teenage driver as the villain who intentionally struck a peaceful protester at a falsely labeled, non-sponsored student-led protest. This was not independent journalism. It was coordinated collusion between local media and the politicians' talking points. The politicians, Senators Pete Ricketts and Deb Fischer, and Representatives Mike Flood, Don Bacon, and Adrian Smith had all posted or reported the exact same video clip originally shared by Mike Flood's own News Channel Nebraska. The local TV stations then built their entire coverage around that same clip, repeating the politicians' language about political violence, assault on a legal protester, and this is not what we do in Nebraska. The cycle was closed. Flood station seeded the misleading visual, the politicians amplified it, and Omaha's anchors and reporters turned it into the lead story for days. News Channel Nebraska has long been criticized as Fake News Channel Nebraska precisely because of this pattern. Owned by a sitting U.S. Congressman, Mike Flood, through Flood Communications, NCN presents itself as a local, independent voice for rural Nebraska. In reality, it serves as a filter for mainstream media-style narratives, repackaged to look like hometown journalism. Private investors and broader networks of investment companies and associations tied to Flood's media empire allow NCN to deliver the same biased framing that appears on national outlets, but dressed up as local reporting. Rural Nebraska viewers get the illusion of independent news from a Nebraskan like Mike Flood, when in fact they are receiving mainstream fake news filtered through Flood Communications and News Channel Nebraska. The criticisms of NCN are consistent and well-documented: selective editing, omission of key context such as the student running into the roadway under adult supervision and the mob attacking the SUV, and a clear alignment with pro-immigrant narratives that benefit Flood's Spanish-language stations, Radio Lobo, Fiesta 94.5 FM, Telemundo, Nebraska, and the agricultural and business interests that rely on cheap immigrant labor. In the Fremont case, NCN provided the video that every station and politician used. Then the Omaha anchors ran with it as fact. This was not professional journalism. It was a coordinated effort where supposed professionals, anchors, reporters, producers, and management at KMTV, WWT, KTV, and NCN watched the same video evidence, edited it the same way, and chose to repeat the same lies. The local fake news media in Nebraska had every opportunity to report accurately. They had the full video. They had reporters on scene. They had time to review the footage before going live or producing follow-up segments. Instead, they all chose to criminalize the teenage driver, ignore the mob's aggression, downplay the school's role in facilitating the protest, and frame the incident as a peaceful protester being intentionally struck. This was not a simple error. It was a deliberate, coordinated choice by Omaha's fake news anchors and reporters to push a narrative that served political and business interests over truth. The Fremont anti-ICE protest incident exposed the rot in Nebraska's local media. From the Omaha studios of KMTV, WWT, and KETV to Mike Flood's News Channel Nebraska, the coverage was uniform, inaccurate, and harmful. It stigmatized a teenage driver who was simply trying to escape a threatening crowd. It ignored the adults who facilitated the protest on school grounds. It repeated the politicians' talking points verbatim, even though the video evidence showed the opposite. This was local fake news at its worst, mainstream deception filtered through Nebraska outlets and delivered to rural viewers as local journalism. The anchors and reporters had the video right in front of them. They chose to lie anyway. That choice tells you everything you need to know about the state of local news in Nebraska. Conclusion: Nebraska local news is fake news. The Omaha television stations and News Channel Nebraska delivered a strikingly uniform and inaccurate account of the Fremont High School incident, repeating the same misleading framing despite clear video evidence showing the female student running into the red SUV's path while being monitored by adults. Anchors and reporters across KMTV, WWT, and KETV, including Mary Nelson, Brian Mostray, Aaron Sullivan, Bill Shammert, Julie Cornell, Waverly Monroe, and Melissa Fry presented the teenage driver as the aggressor who deliberately struck a peaceful protester, while ignoring the mob's aggression and the school's role in facilitating the protest. This coordinated coverage aligned with the politicians' talking points and persisted for days, even after police citations contradicted the narrative. This episode highlights the deep flaws in Nebraska's local media landscape. Rather than providing balanced, fact-based reporting, Omaha stations acted as amplifiers for a predetermined story, choosing sensational falsehoods over the obvious truth visible in the footage they themselves reviewed. The absence of corrections, retractions, or alternative perspectives underscores a troubling pattern of bias, collusion, and failure to serve the public. The Fremont incident was a minor school event that deserved accurate local coverage, not a statewide spectacle built on lies. Yet, that is exactly what the fake news outlets in Nebraska delivered.